Today we're going to talk about how to find the lateral area, the surface area, and volume of the sphere. The catch is, the sphere doesn't have a lateral area at all. It just has a surface area, which is 4 pi r squared, and a volume, which is 4/3 pi r cubed. So that's one less formula you got to learn. No lateral area for a sphere. Alright, so if you look at our pieces here, to find the surface area and the volume, all you need to know is the radius of the sphere. Here, if you notice though, this is not a full sphere. We've got a semicircle. So we've got a circle on top and only half of the sphere over here. So we've got a semi-sphere, if you want to think about it that way. So to find the surface area, we have to go back to our definition. Surface area is always the area of the whole figure. So that would mean I have to take the area of this bottom piece as well as the area of our circle on top. So I'm going to take half of what a sphere is, since this bottom piece is half of a sphere. So I'm going to take half of this 4 pi r squared. So my surface area is going to be half of 4 pi r squared, because that is going to give me the semi-sphere on the bottom here. And then the top is a full circle, so I just add on the area of a circle, which is pi r squared. Now I can just plug in my radius, so I have 1/2 times 4 pi times my radius, which is 4.2 squared, plus pi times the radius, which is 4.2 squared again. So my surface area ends up being 166.3 centimeters squared. Now volume, again, I only have half of the sphere here, so it would be half of whatever the volume formula for a full sphere is. Now I don't have to take into account the semicircle on top, or the circle on top, because I'm not putting water on top of this circle. The water is going into the whole sphere. So I'm taking the whole sphere and then cutting it in half. So my volume formula has to be half of what the volume formula for a whole sphere is. So I take 1/2 of 4/3 pi r cubed. Plug in what I know. And then my volume ends up being 155.17 centimeters cubed. Let's do another one. We have the sphere here. We know that the area of this circle, that's part of it, is 201.1 centimeters squared. If I want to find the surface area and the volume, remember I always need the radius. Since they've only given me the area formula, I have to find the radius from that. Remember that the area of a circle is pi r squared. So pi r squared is going to equal 201.1. And now I have to divide by pi. So that means r squared would be 64.01. Then take the square root of that, so our radius is 8. Now that I have the radius, I can just plug it in. So surface area is going to be 4 times pi times our radius squared. So the surface area is 804.25 centimeters squared. The volume is 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. So my volume is 2144.66 centimeters cubed. So that was pretty easy. Again, to find the surface area and volume, all you need is the radius. The only tricky part is when you have a semi-sphere like this, because you have to remember to add on this surface area. And then when they give you different pieces of the formula, you just have to think of how you manipulate that to get the radius, which is what you ultimately want, so that you can get the surface area and the volume. So let's do a couple more. If I tell you that a sphere has a circumference of 9 inches, you have to figure out the surface area and the volume from that. Now again, you just need the radius. So we have to think about what a circumference formula is. Circumference formula is 2 pi r. So I'm going to say 9 equals 2 pi r. Because the circumference is 9, 2 pi r is also 9. So now if I divide by 2 pi, that'll give me my radius. So I take 9 divided by 2 pi, so our radius is 1.4. And then from there, you can just plug it in to your surface area formula, and you end up getting a surface area of 24.63 inches squared. Volume, just plug it in there. Volume is always 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. So our volume is 11.49 inches cubed. We'll do one more. This time, I'm going to tell you that a sphere has a volume of 1,200 feet cubed. So you just have to find the surface area. But again, the problem is you need to know the radius. So our volume formula, remember, is 4/3 pi r cubed. If that's what the volume is, that's going to be equal to 1,200. Now I just have to get r cubed. So I'm going to divide 1,200 by 4/3 pi. Make sure you use parentheses around your 4/3 and your pi, so you have a double set of parentheses. So 1,200 divided by 4/3 pi means r cubed is 286.48. And now, since that's cubed, we have to cube root this, which ends up getting a radius of 6.59. Now that I have my radius, I just plug it in to surface area, which is 4 pi r squared. So I end up with a surface area of 546.10 feet squared.